What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kayfabe Theory. I'm Gary, and as always,
I'm Keith.
all right, and today there's a lot of trios factions that are making their way onto screen, and we had a thought of what would happen if the WWE introduced trios tag team titles to the scene. So we're kind of just going to go over like I said, pros and cons. Could WWE actually put it off? And we'll go ahead and don't want to start this list on a negative, but we're going to start it on a con because I can already feel the voices screaming from the other side of this video saying, we don't need another title on screen. First con on the list, there are already too many titles going on. We have the two men's world championships. We got the two mid-card titles, Intercontinental and United States, the undisputed tag team championships, and the women's tag team championships. So yes, that is our first big point. Oversaturated of titles on the main show. So Keith, now that we knocked the screaming out of the way, what do you got on this one?
I think overall, adding a trio title, it may do some good. It depends how WWE can run it. Because mostly, when I think about the trios title, I think about, well, currently, AEW is doing trios titles, but also Lucha Underground. Anybody watched that? They did a hell of a job over there with the trios titles, and can boost the show overall when done correctly. But it's all a matter of what WWE can do and how they use it, because as time before, when we add new titles, it has gone down the trash can. Which title they brought up, main reference is 24/7 title. Even though R-Truth did his damnedest to make that title entertaining, but overall it got stale over time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It really is how they do it, because we just see a lot of trios factions, and one of the things that comes to mind is, we talked about this, is you could do with the tag team titles what you could do with a trios faction. They could use the Freebird rule. So for instance, let's say Imperium won the tag team championships. It wouldn't just have to be Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, you could have Gunther stepping in there with Ludwig Kaiser and defending them on one show. Then you could have Ludwig and Giovanni on the other side, and Gunther's like, I'm just going to sit back and watch. So you can use the trios factions with the tag team championships.
No, so that's actually a good reference. Mostly the Freebird rule does work in advantage for regular tag teams. As we know, the ones that most famous using it recently was the New Day, where we saw one match, Kofi and Xavier Woods go in, then the next match was Big E and Xavier Woods. So advantage to goes to them to have like an unknowing of who's gonna be in the match. Another reference is the Spirit Squad. They were always introduced as Spirit Squad, so you didn't actually know who's gonna be in the match when the match started. And that also added the element, even though I hated Spirit Squad myself.
What's thinking about male cheerleaders?
Male cheerleaders.
DX loves shitting on them.
Look up.
I mean, hey, it did bring Dolph Ziggler, so it did some good. I give them that.
Yeah.
This is how they got to work it over time, because it can go down really fast. Knowing that today in our age, do we need another title that's going to end up being unused? Because right now, I think the women's tag is stuck on Kabuki Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing pretty well with it, but I don't see them doing too much with it, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's always gone through weird phases. So when you can't handle one division's tag team titles, it's hard to say, oh yeah, let's go ahead and put another tag team championship on the men's division. So to throw another championship and keep it credible is going to make it really damn tough.
So we might as well get into the pros of being a trios. I think that at least having a trios, we both talked about that, they can also help with NXT brand trios. So they also have the option to come from NXT to the main roster. The trios title can actually like be, what's that word? Vice versa. or or interchangeably. There you go, interchangeably through each brand, which gives more opportunities to others on NXT to show out who they are.
Yeah, and I mean on NXT right now, you could get Chase University, the family. Metaphor would need another member for that, at which point they'd also have to change their name, of course. So
we get OTM. They can have women to trios.
Oh yeah, OTM. Yeah, they got trios. Yeah, so I think if you were to do that, unlike the tag team championships where you got the NXT tag championships and you got the undisputed tag championships, the trios could be a crossover, so they could be featured on all three shows and give a boost to a number of factions.
In which already we got a couple factions on the main roster, like the LWO, the Legado del Fantasma,
Alpha Academy.
They had their own Alpha Academy. They have their own little trios run with them. It would be great.
And I mean, when we bring up LWO and stuff, that with, I'm gonna butcher this name, Santos's family. I always butcher it. That could be like, those championships could be something that adds another layer to that feud, because regardless of how good the matches are, I think we all kind of have to admit this feud has kind of been on repeat longer than it needs to, and it's probably building to a real Rey and Santos match at WrestleMania right now. There kind of needs to be a little bit of variation, because we've sort of been getting the same matches on repeat week after week, and occasionally we're just adding in street fights. So it could be one thing that adds another layer to certain feuds.
Yeah, that could add another layer.
And it's not even they have to go back and forth with them. It could be the LWO has them, and then Santos and company screws them during one of their title matches and they lose it. It's like, well, now we got another reason to go after Santos and all them, because they just screwed us out of championships we had.
Oh, I just thought about this. Since the trios can actually literally be intergender, so we could actually like add women to the factions. Because I remember, because basically what I referenced earlier about OTM, that element right there by itself, with having just basically adding people through, and now just women's and can be a part of it too. So, for example, Noam Dar's group, the meta, Lash Legend can jump into one of the matches. Also help with the Bobby Lashley and Street Profits and B-Fab. Yep. Matter of fact, a Freebird, that's a new Freebird rule. Since they're a four-person group.
Yeah, so you got to have 2 men, 1 woman.
2 men, 1 woman, and which that will build up for the Judgment Day to get it.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you get Mommy in there. Hell, she'll say, "I don't even need a woman." She'll go in there and goop slam a Creed brother.
So basically, for me, trios can actually add to a many realms of possibility across the board. It's the matter how they use it, because they're, as we've seen before, they add titles and it went downhill.
Yeah. So I guess in the end, with this whole pros and cons list we got going, is this something that they would realistically do?
I'll use my optimism. It can be done. It'll be fun to watch.
I think it's one of those things. I'm with you. I think it would be good to watch. I think they could pull it off. I don't think that they would. I think they'd probably try to use the Freebird rule instead. So I think I'm kind of with you in optimism. I'm not going to play the pessimistic personality card all the time, but I don't think it would be something that they would do. I think they'd just go the easier route with the Freebird and open up more opportunities for what they already got. So it's one of those things. I think with Triple H, we see so many trios factions. You got to think there might be new championships coming.
Oh yeah, there's a lot in the Triple H era.
All right, so we got anything else? Any last minute pros or cons for the trios titles? Hypothetical trios titles?
Hypothetical. No, I got nothing else. Just mostly, I think being able to use more superstars on the roster across the board. That's basically it is, being able to use them and have them be able to show off their talent.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of a greater good argument.
How can this be for the greater good? Shut it!
Well, everybody, that is all that Kayfabe Theory has on their theory of the hypothetical WWE Trios Championships. Let us know what you agree, disagree with down in the comments, and if you think that they should add the trios titles or not. Once again, this is Kayfabe Theory. I'm Gary, and
Now, Keith.
Thanks again for watching, and we will see y'all in the next video.